And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show Wednesday, January 7th. Big ol' slate today, folks. 12 games on the day. Obviously, a little bit broken up between DraftKings and FanDuel. Let me look up the FanDuel sides. I haven't done that yet. First and foremost, though, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. All right, FanDuel is running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That FanDuel's got the whole shebang. Fantastic. Full slate on FanDuel for today. That's a big number, folks. It's a lot of basketball games. DraftKings went with the 9-gamer. Did not include the 9:30 start for Lakers Spurs. Did not include the 2 10 o'clock starts for later today. How'd it go for everybody yesterday? Good day? Anybody pick up any dubs? Weird one. There were some outcomes yesterday that I did not expect. I certainly didn't expect Cavs Pacers to be a tight one. Wizards take out the Orlando Magic. Yikes. Timberwolves beat the piss out of Miami. Dallas sneaks by the Kings. Lakers do exactly what we expected, but weird slate, man. Weird slate. And now we're here with just a massive slate. 4 games that lock at 7 o'clock. 3 more that lock at 7:30. 2 more that lock at 8. And then you get to the actual late games. That's where we stand. So, we got to break this one down. We're not going to try to get out in front of this and think that we have all the answers at 9 o'clock. We got a lot of teams on back-to-backs for today. We've got a lot of injury news that's out there. So, we're going to work our way through the injury report. I'm a little too zoomed in here. There we go. That's better. So, let's do it. Let's dive in. First game up on the docket for today. Toronto Raptors at the Charlotte Hornets. 2.5 point line, 229 total. Not a lot going on here on the Toronto side. Jakob Poeltl still out. Otherwise, normal Raptors. Obviously, still no Mason Plumlee, who had surgery, but Ryan Kalkbrenner out. Tijan Salon, questionable. Brandon Miller and Moussa Diabate, both probable for right now. If we take a look at the data hub, slap some filters on it so we can take a peek at Charlotte and Toronto. Out of the gate, about 20% ownership to RJ Barrett. Everything else is pretty pedestrian after that. Colin Murray-Boyles is a thing today. Just 13% owned, though, at 4,500. Not a crazy value, but had a big game last time out. Nothing in Toronto or Charlotte is standing out as anything like truly crazy. If Salon is out, that makes Charlotte a little bit weirder because they're just really small right now. But I don't see anything in Toronto or Charlotte where it's like a priority piece of information. Yeah, like RJ Barrett looks fine. Brandon Ingram looks fine. Brandon Miller looks fine. Scotty Barnes. Like, we know the names that we can get to. I don't think there's anything specific here to like truly worry about or break down. The biggest piece is just simply, does Salon play? And, you know, 7 o'clock start. We're going to find that out eventually. Played 13 minutes last time out, missed the game before that. You know, it's been bothering him a bit. Keep an eye on it. But ultimately, game one of this day, not all that interesting. Game two, Bulls, 10.5-point dogs in Detroit, 234 total. Still no Josh Giddey, still no Jalen Smith, still no Zach Collins. If you guys see it on the screen, the Bulls released Trenton Flowers. You might be thinking, why is that news? I think he's going to play college basketball again. That's where we're at right now. Flowers, not getting it done for the Chicago Bulls, so he's going to ply his trade in the collegiate realm. Kobe White, questionable. I didn't scroll down far enough. Actually, that'll help. Kobe White, questionable. Buzelis, questionable. That's all very important for Chicago. The Buzelis piece, even more so. We're used to not having Kobe White for the Bulls. He's missed most of this season. So whether or not he plays, it certainly matters, but not in the same way that Buzelis matters. That will really free up some additional playing time. And if they're both out, one, we're going to be looking at the Bulls, but two, we are not going to like it in a matchup against the Pistons. However, for the Pistons, still no Jalen Duren, still no Tobias Harris, Cade, Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, all probable. So pretty much what we've been used to for the Pistons, but the Bulls are going to be an issue. They can really, really look different by the time we get to lock. Detroit on the back-to-back as well, right? They played yesterday. Am I stupid? Am I making that up in my head? No, they're not on the back-to-back. That was Monday. That was Monday? Where did Tuesday go? Detroit not on the... Oh, dude. Okay. Bulls are on the front end of a back-to-back. I knew I saw the back-to-back tag while I was doing this, and in my mind, Detroit just played yesterday, but that was obviously 2 days ago. This is a place, though, that we do want to talk about because Jalen Duren is still out. We are maintaining the Paul Reed experience, and it should be obvious that it's a great matchup against the Bulls for it. 5K Paul Reed, 55% owned. Only 25 minutes for me right now. That's what I have in. He played upwards of 30 in the first game. I think he got 26 in the second Paul Reed start. Even in 25 minutes, he will be probably the best point per dollar play that exists on the slate, if not one of the top three. The ownership is here once again. I don't see a reason why you would want to get away from it. There's minutes upside, and it's a matchup against the Bulls. So, yeah. 20% ownership to Beef Stew at 5,500. Obviously, he's been getting a little bit more tick with Jalen Duren out. I think that looks reasonable. The most owned Bull is Buzelis at 20%. We don't know if he's playing. Vooch is 15. He's been getting increased run with these centers out. Get ready to not play him at all once one of those guys get back. Cade's at 15. I think we're going to have more than enough value to be able to pay up for him. Obviously a great spot against the Bulls. But we need that Kobe White news. We need that Matas Buzelis news. But this is the first pin you put in the slate. Paul Reed is a priority today. Across the board. Instant cash game option. Probably the first guy you put into every cash game you build today. Whew. There's so many games to talk about. So many. Now, Wizards Sixers. I'm not even going to bother starting on this one. Wizards are 12.5-point dogs, 235 total. Wizards are on a back-to-back. We don't know who's playing today. I assume Chris Middleton isn't. After that, who knows? Similarly, for the Sixers, Joel Embiid, questionable. Kelly Oubre, questionable. Trendon Watford, questionable. Your guess is as good as mine what we should be doing with the Philadelphia 76ers today. We need that news. We haven't had Watford in ages. We haven't had Kelly Oubre in ages. If Joel Embiid doesn't play, we're going to get out a Dembona and Andre Drummond in some way, maybe. Bona for sure. Drummond has been deprioritized. If Watford's back, that's another guy that can play the 5. So whatever's going on here for Philly, we'll need that information by 7 because it can change things up pretty dramatically. As of right now, Q-tag Watford, Q-tag Oubre, Q-tag Embiid. Oubre's been out for 2 months. Watford's been out for ages. And then we don't have a clue what's happening in Washington. Yeah, certainly not crazy, Einsteinium, if McCollum sits, if this trade is closer than it seems. I don't think it is, but I could be wrong. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'll mention, everything we've heard so far doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So I am curious. I'm curious. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love a huge NBA trade. I want to talk about it. It's my favorite thing. I don't see it quickly, so we'll see. But yeah, look, for Wizards Sixers, there's nothing I could say at 9:11 in the morning that would matter for this one. On a similar note, the Denver Nuggets are in Boston. 9.5 point underdogs, 231 total. Here's the injury report for the Nuggets. No Cam Johnson, no Joe Val, no Jokic. Cool. Aaron Gordon, questionable. Christian Brown, questionable. Jamal Murray, questionable. Tim Hardaway, questionable. Let me get this out of the way. From I Know Somebody Loves Me, the Sixers should go for Giannis. They can't get him. So that's probably not worth the time. On the Boston side, no Josh Minot. Otherwise, it's normal. But Gordon, Brown, Murray, Hardaway, all questionable. I have no idea what they're going to do. I assume they all play, but I don't know. I have no idea. So we need all that Nuggets news. That's 3 starters probably and a Tim Hardaway that plays 20-something minutes. For Boston, it's business as usual. So if these guys are all in, the highest owned guy in this game is 15% owned Derek White. No one else in the game as of right now is north of 10. Now, if all 4 of those dudes somehow end up out again, yeah, Denver's going to look a lot different. Who knows? Who knows? Giannis isn't going anywhere. Valentine, I mean, you're right about in season. You're wrong about the summer. Giannis Antetokounmpo will not be a Milwaukee Buck at the start of next year. He also won't be traded during this season. But he's gone after this year. 100%. Lock it in. If you can bet it somewhere, bet it somewhere. He won't be a Buck next year. You're not going to be playing much of this Denver-Boston game unless we get some serious news. And if everybody's in, nothing looks good. Especially on Denver, who all of their prices have been inflated over the past couple of weeks. Really, really unappealing game from a fantasy perspective, unless the news breaks differently. Now, that's the 7 o'clock games for today. We move to 7:30. 10.5 point line. 245 total. Massive. Pelicans at Atlanta. Obviously, these two teams are linked together pretty big. Atlanta obviously wants to beat the Pelicans because Atlanta has their pick. We don't have an injury report for the Pels today. They played yesterday and got beat by the Lakers. Where was that game? That was in New Orleans, right? Has to be. Okay, it was in New Orleans. I was going to say, yo, Lakers to Atlanta is a hell of a road trip. For Atlanta, Trae Young, questionable. I have no idea what's going to happen here, but my assumption is that he's not playing. But if he's healthy enough to play, I think he's going to be out there. We'll see. Clearly, we need the Pelicans injury news. That's going to matter for what we're doing on a back-to-back. If we're thinking about it, Zion has been playing back-to-backs. Doesn't mean he has to today. Realistically, Herb Jones coming off of 35 minutes in his return. They didn't just play him. They played him the second most of anybody that played. Craziness. I don't know if Herb Jones is going to play today or not. We'll find out. But we need an injury report from the Pelicans because they're on the back-to-back. If you guys think Atlanta is going to play Trae Young today, then they're not going to be that interesting. If he's out, then you're probably going to want to get to something from Atlanta, given the fact that the Pelicans are on the opposite side. Trae Young will go to the Wizards and Klay Thompson. Why is Klay Thompson going to the Wizards? Sure. 25% ownership for Derek Queen. He's somebody that I found a little interesting yesterday. Same kind of story here for me today. First Kings, I'm not confident you've ever said a rational thing in this chat. I will never mark your words. Your words are meaningless. They carry no weight. I can't remember what stupid nonsense you were pulling with Klay Thompson before. When things are useless to me, I just get rid of them immediately. But something's stuck up here that you've said some dumb Klay Thompson stuff before. I just can't remember what it is. I like Derek Queen today against Atlanta. I really like Herb Jones today at small forward and 4,300 if he's in and capable of playing the same amount of minutes he played yesterday. We got him for 27.5. He's 20% owned. Trey Murphy, big day, 40 real points, I believe, yesterday. A little bit more difficult to get to. But if Trey is in, you're not going to be getting much Jalen Johnson, Daniels, Okongwu. They all go away. Hard to trust Porzingis. There's nothing. If I'm getting anything here, it's the Pelicans. Unless Trey is still out, at which point then Jalen Johnson works his way into the equation. I don't have anything else for this game. Magic on the back-to-back. 1.5 point favorites in Brooklyn. 222 total. Horrific game for fantasy. No Jalen Suggs on the Orlando side. Everybody available for Brooklyn. Now, obviously, on paper, this is not a great DFS matchup because of the total. And you're seeing that in the ownership. To start the day, not a single person from this game, Brooklyn or Orlando, got to 10% ownership. Terrence Mann at 9.7 is the highest. You want to play MPJ at 8,700? Sure. But Tristan Da Silva is probably the guy that I'm most interested in, and interest is not real. Unless we get wholesale news that's different here, I don't really see a scenario where you're prioritizing a single thing from this game. Orlando isn't terrible. Orlando is very specific. The problem for Orlando is that they live and die by Jalen Suggs. When Suggs is around, they're always good. When Suggs isn't around, everything breaks. Suggs, Franz, Paolo, Desmond Bane, your big four, so to speak. They've only played 125 minutes together this season. They are plus 14. Plus 8 on offense. 6 points to the good on defense. When Suggs leaves the floor and the rest of those three guys are there, -7 on offense, neutral defense, -7 overall. Every other scenario when Jalen Suggs is on the floor, they're still fine. And if we really want to open it up and include last season, we could also do that. Suggs, Franz, Paolo, +5 when they're here. When you start taking Suggs off, it all falls apart. Jalen Suggs is the linchpin to success for Orlando. He organizes everything, man. So good. So underrated. He's the guy that gets it all done. But from a DFS perspective, skip this game. Clippers and Knicks, 7:30 start, 5.5 point favorites. That would be the Knicks at home, 225 total. Harden, questionable. Still no Josh Hart, still no Landry Shamet. One of the more interesting things here for the Clippers, right here. So Zubats came back 2 games ago, got 21 minutes in his opener, and then immediately in the first game without James Harden, 33 minutes right back to normal. So we've gotten Ivica Zubats right now that should be playing his normal minutes. Now, whether or not James Harden plays will create some value on the Clippers. We got a 36-minute Kobe Sanders start 2 nights ago. We need to pay attention to that because if Harden is out, we will do that, something similar to that again. However, I mentioned the total here. It's 225. We have games in the high 230s. We've got the Pelicans in the 240s. Utah OKC is in the 240s. These low 220 games are tough to get to, especially when you don't have any news. So Harden can open this up. But from an ownership perspective, the highest owned guy in this game is Jalen Brunson at 6%. Now, look, if you want to take shots on Brunson, Towns, Kawhi, a $6,900 Ivica Zubats, who I'm going to let you guys know right now is probably my favorite GPP play of the day. $6,900, center only, and played real minutes last time out. If Ivica Zubats is 2% owned, he's my favorite play of the day. So keep that in your mind. Otherwise, there's not a single priority anywhere to be found in this game. Kobe Sanders at 4,100, shooting guard, small forward eligible. If we don't have Harden, that will become a priority value option. But not a great game. Again, no ownership coming in here. Phoenix and Memphis is an 8 o'clock start. Suns are 4.5 point favorites in Memphis. Jordan Goodwin available. Booyah not available. Grizzlies on a back-to-back. We didn't have Ja Morant yesterday. No idea what the Grizzlies are doing today. Can Vince Williams play the back-to-back? Don't know. Is Ja available for today? Don't know. So clearly we need that information. If I pull up Memphis and Phoenix, who do I like better between Queen and Zubats? I mean, it depends on the lineup. Like, Derek Queen is a better DFS play. I like Zubats in large field contests. So there's no ownership coming into Memphis right now, but obviously that is subject to change based on who's available. 18% ownership coming into a 5K Mark Williams. I can take that or leave it. Like, if he's 18% owned, I'll find a different center. Your next highest owned guy is either Jordan Goodwin or Dylan Brooks at 13. Devin Booker at 10. We're not exactly prioritizing Phoenix today. I would say Brooks is probably my preferred option from the Phoenix side. And then something might look good for Memphis. Like, if Ja plays, I like him at 7,700 given the ability to play like 29, 30 minutes. But again, without news, there are no priorities here. It's a weird slate. And then we get to Utah OKC. Now, I want to make jokes here, like OKC will smash them, but they also just had like the sixth worst loss in NBA history a couple days ago. The Thunder are 18.5-point favorites, 241 total. No Kevin Love. Ace Bailey questionable. We haven't seen him in a bit. For OKC, no Caruso, no Hartenstein, no Jalen Williams with a Y. It's a great spot for Oklahoma City, clearly. The status of Ace Bailey is really going to be important. AJ Mitchell is your priority to start the day from Oklahoma City. 4,800. Got him in for 24 minutes. 27% owned. Just really solid value. Now, the type of guy that's probably going to look a little bit worse as the day goes on, as we get more news, but very easy to get to AJ Mitchell. J-Dub, 7,400, 20% owned. Small forward, I like it. Certainly in this matchup, like it a lot. After that, it falls off. If Aaron Wiggins starts again, small forward, power forward, 3,900, 12% owned. Solid value. You're like, do what you want to do with Shea and Chet. If it's competitive and you can get 33, 34 minutes for Shea, cool. It's a great matchup. Utah's defense stinks. Obviously, this is a great spot for Chet. Very good matchup. Let's see. Josh, I have a buddy that's a diehard Clippers fan and claims Zubats slows everyone down on the court. Harden and Leonard win more without him and with Lopez at center. Well, I mean, that's a terrible take. Ivica Zubats carried them to a top 5 defense last year and was the only reason they were any good. Weirder start this year. I blame that more on the rest of the team than anything else, but no, they are not better with Brook Lopez. No, not at all. The game's played on two sides, and Ivica Zubats is a fantastic defensive center. Yeah, that's all. I'm guessing the advanced data probably does not agree with what I just said, but it'll be fun. They were just off to like a really shitty defensive start early. I have a hard time blaming Zoo for that. Kawhi, Harden, Zoo, Brook. yeah, I mean, they were infinitely better so far this season with Lopez on. I am not a big believer in the fact that that 118.9 defensive rating is Ivica Zubac's fault. A little bit unlucky on the threes as well when Zoo's been on the floor, but yeah, ultimately they're a better basketball. Look, it's the same as this, and I know what people are going to say when I say it, but it's the same thing as looking at the Hawks and thinking they're better without Trae Young. They're not. They're just not. Now, do you think that you could reallocate that spot in a better way? I'm open to that. You're never better by taking actual talent off the floor. That's not how it works. It's just like, like 2 years ago or 3 years, whenever it was, when like the Grizzlies won a bunch of games without Ja. They're not better without Ja. Just worked out that way. So that OKC Utah game is the final game of the main slate. We have 3 other games. Lakers Spurs is at 9:30. It's a 7.5 point line. Both teams are on a back-to-back. I'm not even going to bother guessing. Does Wemby play? Does Luka play? Does LeBron play? I don't know. No guesses there. Bucks Warriors in Golden State is the 10 o'clock start. Everybody's in for the Bucks. Draymond questionable. Gary Payton questionable for the Warriors. And then the final 10 o'clock game is Rockets Blazers. No Şengün on the Rockets side. Chris Murray, doubtful, along with everybody else that's typically still out for Portland. They are running low on bodies. So they might be in a situation where they're really getting to some dudes. Because they only have 11 dudes. Javonte Cook never plays. Dwap Reith and Yang Hansen rarely play. It's going to be a lot of minutes for the Big Eight. Or the remaining 8, I guess I should say. All right, let's see if we got anything posted here. No. I'm going to assume there is a NBA or an NFL strategy show coming up next, unconfirmed. If there is, it will start at 10 o'clock and will involve Laffy and someone. My guess is Greg. I do not know if there's an NHL strategy show today, but let's assume that's at 1:30 if there's a real slate. 5 p.m. start. NBA Deeper Dive. My guest, myself, and DK. And then live before lock with Greg and Eric tonight. I've been posting my position-by-position breakdowns for DraftKings on Twitter. Anytime we get an update in the afternoon, I'll drop an update as well on Tails, so make sure you're following me for that. Went 4-2 on Prize Picks yesterday, so 10-2 over the last 2 days, but didn't pick up the true dub, unfortunately, yesterday. And then we'll see what else is out there for the rest of the day. Tough slate to break down right now at 7:30 in the morning. Or, yeah, 7:30, 9:30 in the morning. Oh, time zone I'm talking about. But that's where we're at for right now, folks. Any questions before I dip out of here? I think we've set the table pretty well. Don't forget, sign up at Stochastic, link in the description. If you want to use the Sims for NBA, NFL playoffs, which is so much fun. You're getting mini slates and showdown slates constantly. You can get the Sims by signing up through one of our partners and get them for a month for free if you're looking to. That link is in the description along with the instructions. And as always, download Tails. Follow me and everybody else here on Tails. Posting a ton of content there. I posted King of the Court, Prize Picks, DFS breakdowns, the FanDuel 50-point jackpot. All of it free. Doesn't get any easier. The link is in the description of this video. Make sure you're signing up. And if you leave if you leave a rating in the App Store, we are like 20 ratings away from getting to 1,000. That would help us out a ton. something about James Harden. No, I don't care in any way about James Harden if he plays. I won't play him one way or the other. What team do I predict Trae Young lands on? I mean, it's hard for it to not be Washington. I also would not be surprised at all if the team that he lands on is Atlanta until the summer. But it's hard for it to not be Washington to me. Alrighty, folks. That is going to do it. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button on your way out the door. Plenty of content coming out for the rest of the day. You do not want to miss it.